오늘 컨디션 어때요?
오늘 컨디션이요? Not bad.
오늘 촬영 잘할 수 있을 것 같아요?
오늘 촬영이요? 10몇 년 했는데 잘해야죠.
안녕하세요.
티어리스트를 합니다. 12개 티어리스트.
뭐 실력 티어리스트?
네, 실력 티어리스트.
그냥 그날 컨디션에 따라서 누가
그런 생각이 많이 들더라고요. 네.
이거 어떻게 이렇게?
트리거는 트리거 아니에요.
한명 왔어?
감사할게요.
언제 왔어?
두 번째로 왔죠. 그런 줄 알았지. 나 그거 형 잘하는데.
걸려버렸어.
나 얼마나 걸릴지 몰라서 나 이거 진짜 열심히 하시는데?
왜? 너도 싫을 거야.
자기가 메이크업하고 나 메이크업 안 했어. 그리고 이렇게 해야죠. 구부종은 위에서 아래로 이렇게 하세요. 턱을 내리고 위에서 아래로 이렇게 찍으라고 하니까
기분 좋아요. 오랜만에 머리 만지니까.
그것보다 오랜만에 사람 만났어. 리얼하부터
뭐 준비해온 포즈 있어요 혹시?
포즈처럼 너무 오랜만이라서 근데 하나 생각한 거 있는데 포즈는 아니고
네.
겉옷 그 오너 선수 알죠?
네.
오너 선수 겉옷을 안 입잖아요. 걸쳐 놓으시는 거.
네.
그거 한번 해보실 거예요. 멋있더라고요. 그래서 겉옷 가져왔거든요.
지금 포즈가 너무 밝은 것 같아서.
이거 안 된다. 이거 포즈 아무도 못하게 해주시면 안 돼요. 내 포즈다 이거.
오너도 포즈다.
이야, 이건 너무 아저씨인데? 아저씨 어떻게 하지 마시다.
네, 기분 좋아요?
네?
오랜만에 보니까 기분 좋아요?
GSL 진짜 오랜만이라서 살이 쪘죠.
많이 발전했네요. 요즘 어떻게 지내세요?
최근에 GSL 예상 뚫으려고 좀 연습 좀 열심히 했고 뚫고서는 되게 신나가지고 간만에 맛있는 거 먹고
비슷하게 조금씩 움직여주셔도 돼요?
어디에 좀 써볼게요.
네, 좀 어두워지셨는데?
러닝하셔도 그래요?
고생해가지고. 근데 어떻게 지내세요? 저번에 요새 일하면서 이게임이에요.
너무 방송하는 거. 방송.
네,
이거 생각해봤어.
미안 웨스터 지금
이루합이 좀 그래가지고.
좋아
했어요?
저 보고 있어.
너무 냉정하게 해야 되겠다.
그냥 원래 냉정하잖아.
사람도 알잖아.
잘할 때로 해주고 잘했던 시절
티어리스트 지금 생각한 사람 있어요?
그거 해야 돼요?
해야 돼요, 그거.
저 따라하는 건가요? 제 컨텐츠였는데.
그래요?
온라인으로.
오랜만에 이렇게 인사드릴 수 있어서 너무 기분이 좋고
이번 연도 GSL도 좋은 경기력으로 보답할 수 있도록
많이 응원해 주셨으면 좋겠고
오랜만에 오프라인 무대에서 이렇게 팬분들 만났으면 좋겠습니다. 많은 응원 부탁드리겠습니다.
GSL 때 봬요.
빠이.
Incoming transmission.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another season here, another edition of the GSL, the 2026 GSL Season 1 Renovate Group A. I'm, of course, VIP. With me, we're joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Oh my god, it's been so long since we've seen content like that before. Or again, it's been so long seeing a bit of behind the scenes of all the players showing up, having their photo shoot, recording content as well for the GSL. It was very nostalgic, very nostalgic, and it was great to see everyone coming together, great to see players interact like we always used to back in the day, and it was even cool to see a bit of a cameo as well. For those who don't know, there is a player that did not play in the qualifiers, and we assume it's a bit of a silent retirement sort of thing. Creator Creator did not play in the qualifiers this season, and we were all very sad to see that. And Creator has been talking a lot about retiring, and it was really cool to see a cameo from Creator. Like he's not a part of GSL, but he showed up to cheer on his friends, to be there as well. Like he's really good friends with Björn, with Maru as well, with a bunch of the ex Jin and a bunch of the ex Prime boys as well. So it was really cool to see Creator randomly show up. It was beautiful. So I did appreciate it. But here we go. We have our schedule. Here we have today and tomorrow, of course, the 6th and 7th of May is going to be Group A. Group A and Group B of the round of 8. Meanwhile, we also have the rest of our schedule here as well. We have the semifinals and finals going to be the 17th of May. That'll be, of course, a big offline event, online up until the semis and finals. And again, tickets are going to be available at ticketlink.co.kr. So if you happen to be in the area, in the region, you happen to be in Korea at the time, then do consider getting some tickets to be a part of the semis and finals of the GSL Season 1. Oh boy, for 2026. So again, that is going to be available, of course. Seats are available, 169. Nice of them. Let's go. Let us go. Also, I look forward to seeing the combination of some of the photo shoots, of some of the behind-the-scenes content that they did film. I'm sure they're going to be filtering or sprinkling them in sporadically throughout the course of the broadcast, in between matches, in between series. We got a show for you, Pappy. Let's go. Let's go. We do have a show. Meanwhile, if you want to support the GSL, you can do so via Soup, or even via Patreon. I feel like, especially if you're from outside of the Korea, Patreon might be the easier way to do it. But yes, you can support Soup, you can support specifically GSL Season 3. Right now, Season 1 and Season 2 are fully funded, but Season 3 has yet to be funded. It all does kind of depend on the support via Patreon and via the Soup support structure as well. So again, that is available. I do recommend it, of course. Supporting GSL, supporting the longest running league out there in StarCraft. As you can see here, if we reach $6,000 a month, we will be hosting the GSL CK twice a month. Currently, it is monthly. And then we have $10K a month for confirmation of Season 3 of GSL, and then $15,000 a month to expand GSL Season 3 from the round of 12 to the round of 16 for an extended tournament for even greater support and even more players as well. So you can help us reach those goals. Until then, of course, again, Season 1, Season 2 are confirmed, and we also have GSL CK once a month as well, which you already covered a couple of them. Meanwhile, so far, we have almost reached the first goal of $6,000. We are almost there. Just a little bit more, baby. And we can reach that first stretch goal of 2 GSL CKs a month. And again, the next goal will be at 10,000. That will be for GSL Season 3. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So again, great to see that the support has been growing, has been culminating, and hopefully we can reach greater heights and reach greater goals for the rest of GSL. Oh boy, and also spread the word as well. Something that surprised me, which we've been experiencing when it comes to the comments, is a lot of people just don't even know that GSL is happening. A lot of people just don't know that GSL is back, has returned. I think a lot of people just weirdly assumed that GSL was going to be ending, although it wouldn't be returning, which is kind of weird. But no, GSL has returned, of course. We are already a week in, we already covered the qualifiers and the first round, and now we're here in the round of 8. We're here in the group stage. Let's go. As you can see here, you can see some of the scores from previous weeks. Rogue and Zound made it through Group A. Cure and Björn through Group B. We had Percival, Solar, Trigger, and Bunny being eliminated from the GSL. Again, some of the big ones there is Solar. Solar, he's one of the best Zerg players in the world, but he's already out of GSL. Percival had a very strong showing. It was his not his first time, but he's a little bit less experienced when it comes to this kind of setting, and he was able to put on a good show. Likewise, Trigger, also a little bit of a newer setting here to be in the GSL in this round. He did reach great heights, but barely didn't quite make it through, and Bunny also didn't quite make it through either. Now we have Group A, Classic, Cure, Rogue, and Maru. We have 2 Terrans, 1 Protoss, and 1 Zerg. Oh boy, it's going to be an insane group here. In my mind, some of the favorites are going to be Classic and Maru, but even then, Rogue has been having some very strong results as of late. In the most recent RSL, Rogue, he excelled. Likewise, getting second place, of course, in RSL in the last season. Likewise, Cure has some killer TVP and TVT. If you remember, Cure, he was a player that eliminated Maru from EWC. Cure, he did knock Maru out of the Esports World Cup. That was last year. So Cure, you could argue he's favored over Maru. He did bring him down when it came to that big and major EWC event last year, and likewise he has some of the best TVP in the world as well, second only to Clem, or if not Maru. But here we go, we have our first series. Up first we do have Classic. let's go. You can see some of his accolades. Came first place in 2025 GSL Season 2. Came second in last year's Esports World Cup. We just spoke about EWC. Got up to 4th place in DreamHack Dallas last year. GSL Season 1, also top 4. And Rungy Cup Season 3 at the beginning of the year, he did reach that top 8. His quote, big chance of winning if I get through this group and I'll run it back. Let's go. Run it back, Pappy, run it back. But again, this is a very killer group stage. Like it's almost like a death. It's almost like the group of death, if you will. Where we have the best players in the world in Korea facing off against each other in this GSL group. It's no sure thing for players like Classic Omar to make it through, to be honest. Meanwhile, Kura's results. Kura, he reached 2nd place in GSL Season 1 of 2025. That was last year, of course. He did struggle in DreamHack Dallas. True, we did see a bit of a more rougher showing there. Likewise, also rougher showing in Season 2 of GSL. But in EWC, got 3rd place. Remember, we spoke about it. He did defeat Maru at EWC, where he did get 3rd. Likewise, did make it through, or did, you can see his results here when it comes to the group stage. And his quote, I will survive from this group of death. We just spoke about it. We just did make reference that this is the group of death. This is a terrifying group to enter. It is not easy for anyone. Again, on paper, I feel like Maru and Classic are favored, but I can see Cure beating them. I can see Rogue beating them as well. So like, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. Vitas are done, and here we go. We have our map order. Game 1, 10,000 feet. Game 2, Winter Madness. Game 3, Ruby Rook. What were the Vitas? Classic getting rid of some of these larger, actually some of these more extreme maps. White Rabbit, Tourmaline, and Mothership. Meanwhile, Cure getting rid of the Old Republic, Celestial Enclave, and Hytos Citadel. Oh boy. As a result of that, we do have an interesting kind. I mean, Winter Madness, I feel like, is the go-to map that does make it through. It's not extreme. It's relatively defensive. You know, it's relatively macro-oriented, but not as extreme as Celestial Enclave. It doesn't have as big of an advantage as Hytos Citadel when it comes to the gold expansion. Let us jump on into our first game of the night. Let's go. As in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Green Protoss player representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And in the bottom right, we have the South Green Terran for Team Liquid, Cure. Let us go. Okay, we're jumping into our initial best of 3. Curie does fan out towards the left-hand side with the SCV. I believe the goal here is to go for an eBay block. eBay blocks are very common here on 10,000 feet. The reasoning for this is as we are veering off way to the left-hand side, so never mind. I was going to say the eBay blocks are common because the 3rd base location is very exposed and very vulnerable, but Cure, he's being a little bit cheeky here, going for a proxy Rax, very off the beaten path, actually. Okay. You have my attention. Now, Cure, he has been going for these crazy one-base all-ins recently in TVP. We saw them against Zaun, quite heavily against Zaun, actually, and we also saw Maru kind of showcase that against Zaun as well over in the RSL. So Cure has been mixing it in. I think he wants to fake it here. Double gas opener, Rax on his side of the map as well. Looks like Cure wants to force an overreaction. And because of Cure's recent tendencies with these one-base all-ins, specifically on 10,000 feet, I mean, there is reason for Classic to believe these lies and to believe like this kind of fake out. So I do like this out of Cure. As we can see here, this Rax by no means is going to be dedicating. I believe he should be getting his factory back at home. We'll see if he gets his factory across the map instead. As we have our tech of choice here, just Twilight Council to Stargate, Twilight Council, Gateway into Cybercar, I meant to say. I did misspeak, into Natural Expansion. We can see that Classic is scouting nearby, but he is unfazed. He will still expand. Meanwhile, the factory is proxied. Okay. Interesting. So with the factory also being proxied in the corner of the map, this leads me to believe that this is going to be actually more committed. We have the reactor on the way. Are we going into reactor to Hellion, into Hellion drop with a proxy starport? Like, that has to be it, right? Like proxy starport, proxy reactor to Hellion, or do we go into a proxy starport into Tech Lab, into tank production with Marine Tank, into a one-base all-in? With the, okay, so the tumors will expire over time, but it will take some time for them to actually expire on their own. It does expire just before 8 minutes, which is far too late. So we'll see, yep, proxy starport. So it is going to be the one base all-in. Okay, so it's real. I did mention that Cure has been very fond of this kind of style as of late. There's Yadon swap into the reactor Hellion, so it does look like he wants to go for the reactor Hellion drop into the main, but this is looking much more dedicated. No, he gets found! No shot, he gets found! Classic, he scouts, he does find everything. The 111, the Rax, the factory, and the starport as well. Classic is fully aware. More importantly, he sees the add-ons and he saw the Hellions popping out. He knows it's a reactor Hellion, and he knows that there's no faster tech lab either. As the Hellion drop. Now remember, how many Hellions one shot probe? 3. 3 Hellions will one-shot a worker. Stalker does get caught out, does take a lot of hits already. And these Hellions, their goal here is to wreak havoc in the mineral line to avoid and ignore the Stalkers, to bust on in and to just pop off. We see the Stalkers in position to intercept specifically the medevac. And it is a 1-base all-in. Yeah, again, Rax is on the way as well. Again, initially I thought it was going to be a fake out, but no, we just commit, we just double down, which is a bold move considering Kier's recent history on 10,000 feet, which has been a lot of 1-base all-ins. I love this from the medevac. Does rotate. Ooh, the Rax is within range. Forced to cancel. Very nice cancellation. Hellions, they unload. They make their way across the map. Do we have a battery in the mineral lines? No. No battery in the main. No battery in the natural either. That is a concern. And no battery. Stalker getting caught out. So we're getting some hull damage done here on these Hellions. As Classic is fighting for map control. Behind this, going for the delayed tech lab into tank production. Jesus, there's just so many layers here to this all-in. If you recall, originally this did not begin with reactor Hellion. If you recall, oh, the tank. Okay, tank does take a volley. One Stalker goes down. There's an SCV though. Yeah, there's SCV to repair. So he can repair at the same time the depots are catching fire, and SCVs should be focused now. Yeah, for now, Classic is on A move. The Stalkers, they may have to recall back home. Hellions, they bust in. Ooh, they bust in, and Classic out of position. So, the probes are lighting up. Oh my god, 13, 15 probes go down. Insane damage in the main. And Classic is hurting. Classic, he is hurting. 16 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, he busts into the main base of Cure, and we go for the base trade. Now, we do favor Cure's army in a head-on flange. Classic, he evacuates the natural. This is just buying time. He's just buying time. Remember, he can always recall. He can always recall back home. He's just copying the economy. Volley goes off on the Marines. Gets one. Gets one Marine so far. There's 8 Marines left. Ooh, massive tank shot. Yeah, massive tank shots. Tanks are getting within range of the production. And we're still waiting to see if we go for the recall. Pylon's being focused down. Does depower every single gateway. No more warp pins. What you see is what you get. No warp pins. Stalkers, they... Oh, where are we going? Classic, what's the plan? Does he... Okay, he turns back around. He's coming home. It's going to take a while. Yeah, he's going to be late. He's going to be late to the party here. He does get one of the tanks, but he will lose every Stalker in the process. Ay, ay, ay. And again, this was mistimed. This army is so late. Ideally, he's surrounded. You can see Classic at the face cam. Ah. Yeah, you can see Classic there. Ay, ay, ay. Again, he just engaged too soon. He's trying to repower the gateway. He did make a probe. He has enough money to throw down some buildings if need be. So let's pick up the Viking. Not bad. Get some Marine as well. Like, these are nice little pickups. The tank getting within range of the probe. Yeah, probe's back off. Oh no, the probe! Ooh. Tank's a shot. One Marine goes down. Nice control there by Kira. Warps in one more Stalker. And Kira, he can always land that CC and mule. He can always mule. True. Still a probe out there. But Classic, these are the final buildings. He can afford an assimilator. He can make an assimilator. Classic does find the orbital. And Classic, he might be able to catch the orbital on fire. It's possible. Yeah. It should catch fire. And Curie has no money to repair. Yeah, no repair. So very nice pickup here. With that, Classic might be able to force a draw. Remember that Cure can lift up all his buildings and float, but Classic has to protect that assimilator, assuming we throw one down. Classic, we gotta throw one down. We gotta throw one down. Classic. Ah! Where's the probe? Where's the probe? Where's the final buildings? That's it. It's just a game with the pylon. Where's the assimilator? Bappy. Oh my god. The game goes down. Pylon goes down as well. And do we throw down a building? We do. Okay, okay. You throw it down. There it is. Pylon behind the gases. So we still have that pylon. And again, Classic still has enough money for an assimilator as well. He's got that probe alive. Now the CC did burn down. Now he has to try to whittle away at this army. Oh no! Ooh, it does take a lot of hits. Yeah, it takes a lot of damage here. It doesn't lose a Stalker, but his Stalker's getting low. Oof. Yeah, he gets 2 Marines. He has to be so careful with these Stalkers though. They're getting so low. There's another Marine. He cannot engage in the tank line. Oh no! The tank shot! Oh my god, massive tank shot. 2 Stalkers go down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the pylon is now being focused down. There's a simulator. You can see it's in top left. And you can see, yeah, Classic shaking his head. He knows. Yeah, he knows. ZG gets called, and Cure takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Cure does take a lead in the series, and again, it's a Classic. He just had a really hard time racing back home. He was indecisive as well. What am I referring to? Specifically, I'm referring to the moments when Classic, he turned around with his main army and he started racing back home, but then his army turned back around and then turned back around again. Like, it did look like indecision there at a Classic, and he came back home too late. He chose not to recall, by the way, and he engaged too soon with his first force, right? He had 2 armies. He had 2 armies, one defensively, one offensively, and he attacked one at a time instead of trying to come together all at once. So it was very mistimed. It was very, very mistimed, and as a result of that, Cure had an easier time dismantling each half of the army. Not saying that Classic, if he had raced back home, would have had enough to kill Cure, but it would have been a stronger fight, a stronger engage, which might have been successful. Hard to say, but that would have been the best bet there, to try to break that army and try to break that position. Regardless though, again, Classic, he was disjointed when it came to his efforts to break out, and GG gets called with that. Cure takes a lead, and now we're jumping into game numero 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. It is Classic for Virtus Pro. In the bottom right, for Team Liquid, we have Cure. Okay, if they won't do the intros, we gotta do it for them, man. We gotta SMH my head, man. SMH my head. But here we go. We're jumping into game 2, and we'll see how our players will adjust. Already, Cure, he's keeping his SCVs at home. Already this time, there's no proxy. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. Mid-game is more popular here, is more common, and we are expecting Classic to build up into the mid-game. However, Cure, we expect him to be hyper aggressive. We just saw him go for 1 base all in. Not saying he'll go for another 1 base all in, but 2 base all ins are common, and that's kind of what we expect out of Cure, to try to end the game early. That is how he has been approaching TVP as of late, as seen in previous matches in GSL and also in the most recent season of RSL as well, and in the Open Cups. Cure, he has been much more aggressive and much more all in than in seasons past. Which, I mean, does say something, because Cure used to be one of the more macro-heavy Terran players out there in TVP. Not so much anymore. He still can play standard, he still can play macro, he still can embrace a longer game, that is true, but recently has been leaning more towards aggression, more towards all-ins. And you can say that's been the trend just for Terran players, period, this season, and even the last season as well. That is true. When it comes to TVP, if you recall, that was one of our concerns about the current meta of StarCraft 2, is that it is almost non-stop all-ins. Like, nowadays, it is very rare to see mid to late game. We spoke about this in the last 2 groups of GSL, Group A and B of round of 12. They were very short broadcasts, really short games. We said the same thing about RSL, right? The entire playoffs of the last season of RSL had like maybe 1 or 2 macro games. Like, it was out of the entire playoffs, by the way. Like, there was a lot of series, a lot of matches, and barely any macro. It just has been the trend in the direction of, and the trajectory of the most recent meta in TVP and ZVP specifically. And again, you know, we do have a new map pool on the horizon. We have a new patch in the works as well, so hopefully things do change there. Speaking of aggression, Cure does open up with the Marauder opener, Concussive Shell. So racks expand into Tech Lab, into Concussive Shell. With this here, Cure, I was going to say he could go into a 3CC, 3 racks. He can go for a 3 rack sim timing. Here we can see him going for a factory follow-up. Interesting. So the goal here for Cure is to catch the first Adept, to catch the first gateway units, and to shut them down. But this factory is an interesting follow-up. Very often we see this turn into an early stim timing afterwards, into a heavy rack setup. But I see a factory, and I'm expecting a racks after the factory into a 2-1-1, into maybe even a 3-1-1, 2 base all in. So eyes are on Cure. There's the add-on swap. And, ooh, no, we're going for option 3. I was like, are we going for a 2-1-1? Or are we going for a 3-1-1? We are going for a 3rd CC after the factory. Okay, a very greedy follow-up after the initial start. I do like this. I feel like he's showing aggression, but really he's shifting gears into hyper greed. Okay, so bold move here by Cure. I just realized the audio was a little bit low. But bold move here by Cure. He's going to be cutting corners. He's going to be delaying his starport. As you can see here, there's that second Rax, which we assumed was coming. But again, we didn't assume about the third CC. So we're going into a very greedy build, into a stronger mid game. Because that third CC, what does that actually entail? What does that mean? Well, that means that Cure, he'll have faster 2-base saturation and faster 3-base saturation, because he'll be making 3 SCVs at a time sooner, and he'll have an extra mule as well because of the faster orbital. So again, this is just a boosted economy by Cure, and if Classic doesn't realize what's going on, Cure will have a stronger mid game because of that boosted economy. So Classic is in trouble here. It's on Classic to scout, to confirm what's going on, and to do one of two things: either punish the greed or out-greed the greed. One of the two. Now, first things first, extra gateways got thrown down. We have a robo into the prism. I believe this is 3-gate blink. This is an aggressive follow-up, which I do like here by Classic. As I mentioned, one of two things: either be as greedy as Cure, or be hyper-aggressive and punish. And it looks like aggression is on the table. So Classic is going to be moving out, and we'll see what Classic can get done. The goal here is to snipe add-ons, to get some SCVs, maybe get a tank. I mean, that would be the ideal, to snipe a tank. It's going to be difficult to achieve that, but we'll see if he can. Bio Army does actually catch the Adept. Nice catch. Adept goes down, and Classic is making his way across the map with his Prism and with his Stalkers. It's all coming. He will spot the... He sees. Yeah, he spots the third CC. He knows. He's now aware of the greed. I believe he has not seen the tank yet. Now he does. Yeah, tank is revealed. Nice blink. Does move behind the gas geyser. Taking away the Marines. Does pick away. Going to be zoned back though. 2 tanks in the main. And Classic, ooh, what's the plan here? What is the approach? Hasn't lost anything yet. But there's 1 tank in the natural. There's 2 tanks in the main. The tank count is solid because of the early add-on swap. The early tank count is abnormal. And Classic, he can focus on the bunker. He dives on the tank. He dives in. He 2-shots. Yeah, 1, 2 volleys. Tank goes down. Bunker as well. Very nice pick-off. Nice control as well. Ooh, the juggling. Yeah, solid juggling there by Classic. He pulls away. He lost 2 Stalkers. Very nice trade. As the Warpins continue. The Stalkers are very low, as you can see. So Classic has to be careful. Oh, good. Okay, so be careful. Does blink to the side. Tank is out of range. And mining is being denied. And so far, this is what Classic needed. We spoke about this, remember? We spoke about how Classic, he has to punish the greed, and he is punishing the greed. And Classic is punishing. 3 SCV kills, picks up some Marines, and from here he can rotate. He can rotate into the main base. Tank had to move down to the low ground, so Tank is out of position. Oh, has to be careful. Boys are being pulled. Forcing a big reaction out of Cure, and throughout all of this, Classic is expanding. Remember, Classic was not all in. He was aggressive, he forced a certain reaction, and he's expanding behind it to catch back up. So far, these have been some good moments here by Classic, very necessary moments. Bear that in mind. The Classic was forced, was kind of pressured into this aggression because of the greed of Cure. So it's all kind of playing into each other here. Another warp in. There is no replacement bunker on the low ground, so where are we going? Where are we headed? Base at the tank shot. Oh, no, not quite. He's looking for a way in. Oh, it's friendly fire. The Zealot jump on the Marauders, and the Zealot even survives. Cheeky moves there by Classic. Very cheeky. But Classic, he backs off, pulls away again. You can see the trades here so far. Not bad. And now he claims a 4th base. Now, on top of that, he's not just claiming a 4th, but this entire time he's been containing Cure. The 3rd base is now being taken, and Classic can attempt to still delay that 3rd. But the tank is getting positioned. The Observer does spot the move out. As the army moves out, the Prism moves in, but there are units in position. The juggling once again. Classic with the control. He does not lose the Zealots. Very nice. Classic pulls away. Behind this, Colossus are amassing. We have +1 on the way as well. Proper 4-base saturation. And Classic cannot stop the 3rd, but he can build up for a push. Decide to build up. Does confirm. Gets eyes on saturation. Classic is aware. Still building up his forces. 2nd Forge into double upgrades. Now, the 2nd Forge tells us that Classic isn't going to be hyper aggressive here, at least to me, right? Like, he's getting a 2nd Forge, so he's starting extra upgrades as well. Most likely Classic is going to be calming down. Yes, he is being active with the Stalkers, but to me at least, it feels like he might stay at home with the Colossus. Ooh, Cure is pushing. Okay. Cure moves out. As he moves out, Prism is in, but there are reinforcements. Yeah, the production will defend. Cure is in position. attempts to catch at the Prism, but Classic does take notice. Does keep it alive. Army does rush across the map, and it's going to be on Classic to try to engage. And does he go for the counterattack, or does he go for the surround? What's the plan? Highland does spot the army. Zealots are coming from behind. Can we get him top of the tanks? He can. He blinks in. He's crazy. Yeah, blinks in. Gets 1, 2, 3 tanks. Massive pickoffs. All 3 tanks go down, and Curie gets punished. He gets punished for the move out. He gets surrounded, bleeds out all the tanks. Without tanks, what does he have left? There's 1 tank left. Does snipe the Prism, true. Does snipe the War Prism. But that was a big win for Classic, stopping the main army. You can see Cure has that army supply lead. If you recall, because that greater economy, because of the greater 2-base saturation, now the faster third, Cure he had that bump in supply, but he doesn't get across the map. And what base is Classic taking? Look at it. Look at him take bottom left. That's crazy. It's a very abnormal expansion pattern, but okay. At the same time, 4 CC for Cure, so both players are building up into the mid game. Building up. But again, a cheeky base there by Classic. Classic actually double expanding. Ooh, Zerwa is premature. Yeah, the army's in position. Classic with a calm down. Gonna calm things down. We have 2-2 on the way. We have the Templar Archives in towards Storm, in towards Archons. So Classic is refining his composition. I believe Cure should be able to max out first. And Cure, again, still due to that greater economy, still has a timing available to move out with a massive army. With Vikings, with Ghosts, with Biotank as well. Again, it's going to be on Classic to engage ahead of time, and this is where the map comes into play. We spoke about this. Remember, Winter Madness is a larger map. Because of that, it takes more time to get across the map. It takes longer, and there's more time for the Protoss army to engage ahead of time, to slow down the push, to force the early siege, and to stifle the main army. As you can see, Classic attempting to gain map control. I say attempting to because the supplies are still quite close and Cure still has a threatening force. But Classic is taking the center expansion, taking the high yield gas. Cure working towards his 4th base. I would say that Classic should be fighting for this 4th. As Classic takes both center bases. I do like this. This is something that Classic has been known for in TVP, and that is aggressively expanding and taking resources away from his opponent. This is something that Cyril is known for in ZVP, actually. Or actually in ZVT, I meant to say. Against Terran as well. So Classic playing like Cyril against Terran. True. Just take your opponent's bases, mine them out first. Cure, he is maxed. He's turtling up. And Cure still has to refine his army. Even though Cure is maxed out, it's still a little bit too heavily reliant on Bio. Ideally, he wants more Vikings and eventually Liberators. Does want those Libs. Army is spotted so far. Cure is keeping up with these rotations. He's keeping up, going for his own drop. Does focus on the probes. Not bad. Okay, 5, 6, 7 probe kills. A very nice damage. I believe he does miss target fire towards the end and does focus on the Nexus, so doesn't kill as many workers. So we go 8 probes going down. At the same time, we can see Cure setting up his ring of turrets, ensuring that that prisms do not get in. Sets up his turrets. Classic, he rotates. Poking in, takes down the tower. Zealots, they do catch a tank. They get 2. Oh, 2. Oh, 1. Just barely 1 tank goes down. The other barely survives. But these are still better trades, right? Trading Zealots for gas, Zealots for tanks. So a better trade there for Classic. But Cure, he is very well fortified on 4 bases, which is the strength of Winter Madness. The 5th base is a little bit more exposed. We see Classic poking in once again. Classic committing to the choke point. Not going to be easy. The Colossus they move in as well. The Vikings. The Vikings they punish. Colossus getting low. We do juggle back. And Classic has to get the hell out of here. Pull away. Oh. Yeah, the Colossus are still exposed. 1 Colossus goes down. He loses 1. Oh no. Miscontrol. Yeah, miscontrol by Classic. Did not lift the Colossus. Losing all 3. Massive losses for Classic. And if you saw, but again, at Classic, he misclicked. He picked up one of the ground units. I think it was the Zealot by accident, which means he had no room for the Colossus. Because the Colossus needs an empty prism. And Curie's going for the kill move. He's going for the throats. Yeah, just a massive counterattack. And again, with miscontrol, Classic, he lost 3 Colossus. That should not have happened. Imagine this defense with 4 Colossus. EMP's going up. Colossus goes down, the base falls, and Curie snowballing out of control. At the same time, very nice Zealot counterattack. Cripples the economy, but that may not matter. Curie, he wants a production. He wants those robos. EMP lands, Colossus pops out, does get targeted immediately. Does get one of the Colossus. We need more Warpins. Classic, he's got 1,000 minerals. Colossus on the way. And the Stalkers are being focused on. There's barely any remaining here. The Robos are going to be depowered. Massive pickoffs. Takes down both. And with that Classic, he can rebuild with gateway units, but only with gateway units. As he will lose almost every Stalker and Cure. He's just rallying. He's rallying across. Yeah, Classic would have conserved the army. We have to conserve the army. Pull back, make use of these buildings. There it is. There, here come the Warpins. Remember, Classic, he never researched Storm. Storm was never researched, but he does have Archons. He does have the Symbol Archives. Where we get more units. Curie goes straight into the main. Dive straight in. Freedom has arrived. This main base should be forfeits. We can see Classic trying to come in from behind, trying to go for this round. Oh, gets a lib. Gets most of a Liberator. They do get low. Liberator's getting low. And now we're trying to collapse in. He blinks forward. He gets one. Gets one Liberator. There's still 3 left. Oh, Archons, they get focused down. Massive EMPs, and Cure's done it. Wow, Cure, he has done it. He has broken Classic. Classic has all these bases, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The heart of the production has been depowered. And there it is. GG gets called. Cure, he will take the 2-0 and advance on to the winner's match. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Very aggressive, very assertive play here. Very decisive. That's a better word of using. Very decisive play here by Cure. As soon as he wins one fight, he sends it across the map. What I will say though, that was also on Classic. That was also on Classic here. Winding it back, if you recall, Classic did have some miscontrol and he lost 3 Colossus. Whereas in another world, if he didn't accidentally lift up that Zealot, he would have saved those 3 Colossus and he would have had a quadruple Colossus defense back at home. Like, that was a really big moment. Winding it back, if you recall, when he was retreating, Colossus does require an empty War Prism to lift up, and Classic did misclick. He lifted up a gateway unit instead, and you saw the Prism move forward. Like, he was trying to lift up the Colossus, but he couldn't because there was a unit inside. It was panicking, and he could not save the Colossus. Couldn't save them. GG, well played. With that, we're going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series, Maru versus Rogue. See you soon. See you soon. Oh.